One of the biggest struggles that I see women dealing with and that I get asked about all the time is emotional eating, or eating even when you say you're not going to, or eating even when you know you're not hungry. And I get asked about this all the time. Over and over again, so many women struggle with it, and it can be one of the biggest factors that derail all our efforts to get healthy and release the weight. So, if you're new here, I'm Sarah Haas. I'm a women's weight release and body love coach, and I help women in midlife, menopause, and beyond stop dieting, make peace with food and their bodies, and live a simple, healthy lifestyle they can actually maintain. So, if you are successful in so many areas of your life, but still feel like a failure when it comes to your health, you are in the right place. So, today I am answering all your burning questions about emotional eating. These are questions that I hear over and over again. So, I want to get right to it. So, first of all, one of the things I get asked all the time is, how do I know if I'm an emotional eater? How do I know if I'm actually hungry or if I just want to eat and I'm not actually hungry? And I think this is where so many women get confused, because after years and years and years of dieting, we've really lost touch with our body. We've become disconnected with our body's natural hunger cues. So, I want to give you an easy way to tell the difference. Physical hunger usually comes on gradually, and maybe you're happy with a variety of foods. Anything sounds good, healthy stuff, good proteins, whatever. Turkey sandwich, some leftovers, a salad with some grilled chicken, because you're actually physically hungry. So, whatever you're thinking about, you're thinking, okay, that sounds pretty good. But emotional hunger tends to just come out of nowhere. So one minute you're watching TV, the next minute you're thinking, oh my gosh, I have to have chocolate. So it's that urgency. And it's also usually for something very specific. Like if you're a chocolate lover, maybe it's like, oh my goodness, I have to have some chocolate. Or if you like the salty, crunchy stuff, it's popcorn or potato chips or something like that. But it's kind of a comfort food. It's your go-to. So it's very specific. And then a lot of times, even after you've eaten it, the craving doesn't really go away because it wasn't actually the food that you were hungry for in the first place. That's how you know that you're most likely eating emotionally, and you're most likely looking to food to give you something else that you're actually needing. Maybe it's to calm down from stress. Maybe it is because you're lonely and you're trying to fill yourself up. Maybe you're bored. There can be all kinds of reasons for eating emotionally, but these are your clues. So you'll know if you're actually hungry or if this is actually tied to a deeper need. The second one I get, and this is huge, is, why do I always have my cravings late at night? And this is probably number one question, because so many people, women especially, you've had the long day, you finally get to sit down, you've had a nice dinner, you're watching TV, you're relaxing, you're scrolling your phone, whatever. And that's when the cravings kick in. And the answer is not because your willpower just simply disappears after dinner. It's because, think about all the things you've done by the time you've gotten to this point in your day. You've worked, you've solved a bazillion problems, you've taken care of your family, you've made decisions, maybe you've exercised, maybe you've skipped lunch, but for whatever reasons, you are tired. Your brain is tired. Your body is depleted, and your nervous system is looking for relief. And sugar happens to provide a quick burst of dopamine. It's that feel good hormone. So it temporarily makes you feel better. So if you're constantly craving sweets after dinner, definitely don't automatically assume that it's just because you're lacking discipline, because that has nothing to do with it. Instead, I want you to ask yourself, what kind of day did I just have? Because sometimes what you really need isn't the chocolate. Sometimes it's rest. Sometimes it's connection. Sometimes it is just simply permission to sit down and breathe. Another one I get all the time is, why do I keep doing this even though I know better? And I love this one. It's so common. Of course, we tend to blame ourselves. I know better, so why don't I do better? And the reason is knowledge doesn't change behavior, right? Many of us know what we should be doing or eating, and we know vegetables are healthier than cookies, but the issue isn't having the information, it's creating new coping patterns. And that's why doing diet after diet after diet doesn't necessarily fix this emotional eating issue. If knowledge was enough, none of us would ever struggle, right? We've got Google, we've got YouTube, we've got Chat GPT, we've got the books, we've got the apps. So the issue is not that we don't have the information, it's that emotional eating has nothing to do with information. It's about habits that we have been practicing for years, the cycle that we've been stuck in for decades. And food has simply become a way of coping with stress or loneliness or boredom or overwhelm or exhaustion. So the answer is not to try harder. It's to create new ways of caring for yourself, of giving yourself what it is that you actually need because it's not the food. So another question is, does this mean I can never eat dessert again? And the answer is absolutely no. The goal isn't to fear the cookies. It's to stop needing cookies every time that you're stressed. So that's a huge distinction. And I really hope it doesn't mean you can never eat dessert again, because I like to eat dessert sometimes too. But the goal is to help you stop being afraid of food and start to become free around food. So there's a big difference between choosing to enjoy dessert because it's delicious or feeling like you have to eat dessert because you've had a stressful day. So the difference is, what is the feeling behind why you're having dessert? Because one is a choice and the other feels like food is in control. And I want you to experience the first one much more often. So then the question becomes, what should I do when I have these cravings? So if you remember only one thing from today, let it be this. When a craving comes on, pause. Just pause. Just take one slow breath. And instead of immediately reaching for food, ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What do I need? You don't have to solve the problem. Just the awareness interrupts the auto response of eating. Another question is, will emotional eating ever completely disappear? And the answer is probably not. You are human. We are all human. Some of us have had this habit for years and decades, even dating back to childhood. The goal is not perfection, it is awareness. And the last question, does emotional eating mean I am addicted to sugar or addicted to food? Not necessarily. A lot of times you're often just craving comfort, and sugar just happens to be that quickest delivery system. If you need a little more help and support with this, I invite you to grab my free Overcome Emotional Eating Toolkit, because it's going to give you this exact 3-step process so that you can start to understand your triggers, you can bring those cravings down, and you can start to feel more in control. So the link is in the notes. I hope you will go and grab that. And if this video was helpful, I would love it if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe, so you'll be the first to know when I share new content, practical strategies to help you release weight, make peace with food, simplify healthy living, and finally feel good in your body. Thank you so much. I will see you soon.